This is the Ridstar Q20 Electric Bike, and honestly, it's one of those e-bikes you just have to see up close to really get the feeling. When I first unpacked it, the robust frame and those 20-inch fat tires immediately stood out. The look is modern, a little bit sporty, and honestly, it kind of makes you want to go hit a trail, even if you just got back from work. The Q20 feels solid. I took a moment to check out the details. Thick aluminum frame, decent welds, and a pretty unique style. That big digital display up front is easy to read, even in sunlight, and it shows your speed, battery level, and stats like trip distance. The fat tires, at 4 inches wide, give it a really stable footprint and just look cool. It's the kind of bike that gets a lot of attention at stoplights or even in a park. From my experience, assembly wasn't too complicated. The bike comes about 90% put together, so I didn't have to mess with anything too technical. A basic toolkit is included, and the instructions are in plain English, plus there are helpful videos online. I was pretty nervous about the dual suspension and all the electrics, but everything clicked into place without a problem. If you've done any kind of IKEA project, you can handle this. So key features: this thing packs a 1500 watt brushless hub motor, which is stronger than most electric bikes you see on the street. At full throttle in pure electric mode, I was able to get it up to about 30 to 33 miles per hour on a flat road, which is fast for something you can just ride to the supermarket. The acceleration surprised me. Even on hills, it kept pulling with barely any drop in speed, and that's with me weighing in at a regular adult size, carrying a backpack. Battery life is always the big question for e-bikes, and I had my own doubts. The Q20 uses a 48V 20Ah removable battery. It's all certified, which means it's passed safety checks, and for me, that's reassuring. I tested the range over the past 2 weeks using a mix of pedal assist and pure electric. On just throttle, no pedaling, my best was just a little over 40 miles on a single charge. With pedal assist, especially staying at lower levels, I once got pretty close to 75 miles, but it really depends on your weight, the terrain, and how much you pedal. For me, going mostly throttle or high pedal assist, the usual real-world range was more like 30 to 50 miles before I started to see the battery drop below the halfway mark and thought about charging up. Charging it fully took about 5 hours, which is pretty standard. The charger isn't super small, but it works fine. I have heard some people mention the charger quality isn't top tier, but I haven't had any issues yet. About riding comfort. At first, I figured the big tires and dual suspension might just be overkill, but honestly, they matter, especially if you like to leave smooth city streets or need to roll over bad pavement or even some light trails. The front fork has decent travel, and there's even a seat shock absorber that actually softens the ride. I've taken this thing out on dirt paths, gravel, even over some smaller routes, and it handled them with way more ease than my old mountain bike. I don't get that serious wrist or back fatigue after a longer ride. The Q20 is pretty user-friendly. The digital display gives you 5 levels of pedal assist, which basically means you can choose how much extra push you want from the motor while you pedal. For new e-bike riders, pedal assist just means the bike senses when you're pedaling and then adds power to make your ride easier. If you want to work out, you keep it low. If you want to feel like Superman, crank it up. You can also ride it like a regular bike with no electric boost if the battery dies. Safety doesn't feel like an afterthought. There are dual disc brakes, front and rear, which are hydraulic. They grab hard and fast. I tested them early one morning, coming down a wet hill, and the bike stopped quickly without skidding. The EBS system kicks in, which just means electronic anti-lock brakes, making panic stops way less intimidating. There's both a tail light and headlight, and while they're bright enough for city riding, I'd probably add a bigger front light for really dark paths, but for commutes or quick errands, no complaints. Other stuff I really appreciate is the adjustable seat and handlebars. I could set it up pretty quickly to fit my height, and I never felt stretched out or cramped. The seat isn't luxury soft, but it's better than a lot of the e-bikes I've tried, more like a good commuter saddle. A couple features new riders might like. There's a 7-speed Shimano gear system, so if you want to pedal, you can shift for hills or flat stretches. The phone holder up front is solid, and the USB charging port kept my phone going when I used GPS maps. There's even a little storage box, which fits tools or a snack bar. Now, it's not all perfect. I'm not going to say this is the lightest bike. At about 77 pounds, it's a chore to haul up a flight of steps or squeeze into a tiny space. That's just the reality with big motors and long-range batteries. I also noticed the stock tires might wear a bit faster than I expected, especially if you ride a lot on sharp gravel or uneven roads. so I'd keep an eye on that. Assembly out of the box does need you to double check some bolts, especially if you're planning to go fast or off-road. Don't just rush through it, take the extra time. Durability-wise, from my experience and from what I've heard from other riders, the battery holds up well after a lot of charges. I met a guy who's put over 700 miles on his, and while small things like brake pad wear can come up, the motor and battery were still working strong after a year. I'll be watching this and plan to do a 6-month check-in myself. Now, what's this bike perfect for? From my experience, I'd recommend this for daily commutes, especially if your trip mixes city streets and a few rough patches. It's also great for weekend adventures, whether that's dirt roads, sand, or snowy paths. The power means you won't be struggling on big hills, and the comfort setup is better than my regular mountain bike. If you're looking for something folding or lightweight, this isn't the one. But if you're after a reliable, fun, and versatile ride with a ton of range, it's a strong contender. In conclusion, the Ridstar Q20 electric bike surprised me, especially with its performance, comfort, and overall value for the money. Sure, there are a couple little downsides, the weight, some basic parts that may need an upgrade later, but that's true for almost any e-bike in this price range. I think the Q20 stands out for its powerful motor, honest battery range, and sturdy build. Pedal assist makes it great for anyone worried about their knees or just wanting a less sweaty ride to work. Whether you're new to e-bikes or have been riding for years, it's worth considering if you need something that's comfortable and can really go the distance. If you like this quick review or have questions, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. Let me know if there's anything more you want me to test on this bike, or if you have your own tips for long-range e-biking. Thank you for watching.